Roots Reseller, you give me an offer and I'll take it.
I say, this is Johnny's place, where you can have it for no problem. I got the dollars.
Fixed income, no credit, back credit. Here at Kajun Roots Reseller, that's no problem.
Let him have it.
I've got my dollars and I sent in my best offer.
We say, yes. See the special man. The easiest man on YouTube.
You got the dollars? We got the offer? Let him have it with no problem.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on this TGIF. How's everybody doing this morning? Good morning, hello, and welcome. First in the chat today is Mr. Steven. How you're doing? Good morning, hello, and welcome to Glenn, Mr. Swamp Picker, all the way from Louisiana. Hope you're doing well. Also, Red Saw Post, Miss Sharon. Hello, good morning, and welcome. Little Miss Q, how are you doing, Quazy? Mr. Rat's Stash, hello, good morning, and welcome. KT Treasures, how are y'all doing? Good to see y'all. Hello, Wendy, good morning, hello, and welcome. The Seller Sniper, how are you doing this morning? Hello, good morning, and welcome. Let's see, this chat is flying on me so fast, but I love it. Good morning, the Flipping Goodies, how are you doing this morning? Welcome each and every one of you. Good to know you, Miss Irene, hello. Mr. Jimmy, Dark County Picker, hello, good morning, and welcome to you as well. Everybody's coming in. That is so great to see. And also, we are on the Facebook side as well. Staying home to prepare for Aluminum Palooza. That's right. That's starting today, isn't it? This afternoon, out tonight? Or maybe tomorrow morning. I don't remember. There's so many things I got reminders set for, but thank God I got the reminders. Good morning, Sandra. How are you doing? Hello, good morning, and welcome to you as well. And I think I'm getting down to the end where, guess what? We have a double feature guest today. I am so excited to have them on. I've been watching them from the beginning. I've watched them grow. Every now and then you'll see the second guest come into the videos, not too often, but once you get to see her in those videos, you will fall in love with this couple. It is a couple, but you really will see the channel. Great invitation. Squirrel moment. Having great information. He always shares things on his channel. Full of knowledge and information. Again, yes, he has over 30,000 subs. So with that being said, let's bring on our guest. Give him a big warm welcome. And we're going to have RK Treasures, Mr. Roy and Kim. Today. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was watching you laugh in the background because of the intro. Do you realize what commercial that's from in New Orleans?
No.
I have the links in all my videos. That is from the old Frankie and Johnny furniture store on Charter off the French Quarter.
Okay.
I
if you
love
want
it.
to watch the actual videos, I do have the links in the description bar. So that's where that was from. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, I'm so glad y'all were able to be here this morning. So what I want to do is I want to have you introduce yourselves, let everybody know a little bit about you, where you sell on, where you source, and your play on what you're doing on YouTube. And then I'll go ahead and get your link and I'll put it and post it in the top chat. So those who may not know who you are can go and subscribe to your channel. We all need extra subscribers here and there. Also want to say hello and welcome to Lucky 7. How are you doing, Nathaniel? And also DC Sells. Good morning, D. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get you started by introducing yourselves, and I'll go ahead and get your links and put it in the chat.
All right. Well, my name is Roy.
And I'm Kim.
And we are RK Treasure Center. And we've been selling on eBay for over 10 years, just barely over 10 years. But we've been resellers for really probably 25 years plus. We've been started a YouTube channel, RK Treasure Center, about 2 years ago now, and it's been quite an adventure and fun between doing that and eBay. But we like to we go everywhere. We go garage sales, estate sales, flea markets, thrift shops, antique stores, you name it. If you're a reseller, you go searching everywhere, and you know it as well as we do. Just trying to look for that undervalued item that you can flip for a profit. But we sell a little bit of everything. We don't have a specific niche. I do have a background a little bit on gold and silver. So when I first started, one of the things I did was I sold some coins and gold and silver, and that's how I got started. Probably bringing in a little income so that way I could do everything. But I've just learned that everything I like to sell is a little bit of everything. And Kim's been my wonderful partner. She's been helping out quite a bit.
Lately.
Yeah, and lately we've been having some unlisted inventory we've been having to get out. So Kim's been really putting in the hard work and the hours to helped me out and get things listed. So that's been a blessing for us. But and I see a lot of wonderful people in the chat.
Yeah.
Some of the people that we've talked to before, and some people we've met. So that's nice. So
Yeah, see, KT Treasure said they just they just subbed to you and looking forward to catching up on your videos.
oh,
I
great.
have to say, y'all will learn a lot. Now, I'm going to start with this one question. Good morning, Avery's all in. How are y'all doing? Good to see y'all. When you, and I'm only saying this because, again, I know I just realized after you said it this morning that you added the word center on the end of your screen. And I'd never really realized that until just now. So when you did start your eBay, what got you actually started in doing eBay? Or any platform you ever sold on?
I'll explain that. As you said, you saw the word center.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I was young and I was little, my dad retired from the Navy when I was about 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he opened up it was a coin store. That's how I learned the gold and silver and coins and jewelry and so forth. And his place was in Roswell, New Mexico, and it was called Roswell Treasure Center. So when he passed away and we decided to do a YouTube channel, I just took that part and just made it RK Treasure Center. Well, so that's how we got the name. But we also did we've been traveling since even before we got married. I was raised, my dad, like I said, my dad had a store, but then we went to trade shows, various kinds of shows like that. We went to flea markets and he would set up, and that's how I learned to do buying, selling, and trading at that kind of places like that. And then him and I got married. We met and when I was in the Army, and then we met. And
He was a dumpster diver then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, one thing I learned is that when soldiers get ready to get rid of the Army, at least back then when I was in, they just want to get out. They don't care about anything else. They're ready to go. So all their extra equipment, and once they get everything turned in and cleared, the rest of it they throw in the dumpster.
Yep.
And I would go around on the weekends and go around and pull stuff out of the dumpster and then take it down to the flea market and go sell it and make $500 to $1,000 on a weekend off of military equipment.
That's awesome.
I didn't sell anything that was illegal, but
right.
Uniforms and boots and things like that. But
so, Miss Kim, when did you actually start getting involved with the reselling part of with Roy?
I was a nurse for almost 18 years, 19 years, and my mom got sick and she got lung cancer, and I was trying to help because my dad had a stroke at 62, so he was already in a wheelchair. But with my mom, they could go out and about. She could, they did very well by themselves. But when she got sick, it was really challenging. So I felt so overwhelmed with trying to work and help my parents. So Roy said, well, why don't we start an eBay business? And if we can get it started and get, no debt, I can stay home. And so that's what we did. He started listing. He would work his job. He was a correction officer, come home list, because I had no idea about this. And we started making some money and it started growing. And we just kind of stepped out in faith. That's all I can say. Because to give up a career, and I was the package and shipping person. So our garage was full and he'd print out the list, pack it all up and get it ready for the day. And he was the poster, basically. I'm sorry, our Chihuahua is.
That's okay. They want to be put on the show too.
Yeah, so we kept it up for many years. We moved down to South Texas, and where we live is like in an over 55 community.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some rules about having businesses per se. And so we really didn't sell. We were kind of scared to do that. But then we realized it was all online, that it's perfectly fine. So we kind of jumped back into it. And that's kind of where we're at now.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I know, I want to say a while back, y'all were basically all out of the garage.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we see a video where you allowed, it was something that was part of this agreement, that he was able to move from out of the garage into a room in the house.
Yes.
Talk a little about that, on how that came about.
Well, in other houses, I would walk by the room where his office was, and it looked like a bomb exploded, and I'd have to close the door, and I couldn't touch anything because he knew where it was. But I was like, I'm kind of like, this looks awful, our beautiful home, and then there's this bomb exploding in his room. So when we got out here, I said, okay, you got to go out in the garage. And so we put a air conditioning in.
Yeah, we've got, I actually got 2 parts of a garage, or a garage, an offset storage garage room, and the garage. Well, the offset storage room, which I call my eBay room, is where everything's at. And then the garage itself, which is just like a 1-car garage, it's small. That houses unlisted inventory, and then of course my tools and workshop and everything like that. Well, it kind of expanded. And so I was having a harder time when I was trying to do my eBay videos, because I felt like I was getting more and more in a corner. And of course, I didn't want to show all the junk and everything that was around.
Right.
And so I went ahead and asked Kim at some point. I kept making little comments.
Yeah, it sure is hot out here.
Summertime, it does, even with that air conditioning.
I got to go to the bathroom. I guess I'll go inside. There's
the funny part about it too, and the funny thing about it, in a lot of your videos, you can see the sweat coming off your face. Yeah,
even with that. The thing is, the air conditioning is loud, and it's a small room, so you can really hear it. So when I do a video, I have to cut the air conditioning off, and it doesn't take, during this summer heat, it doesn't take 2-3 minutes, and it starts getting hot in there quick.
Yeah.
So that was, it would be, I'd have to turn the air off, cut the video, go back, kind of do different things here and there. But yeah, it was. So Kim was generous enough to say that we had a spare bedroom that nobody ever uses. We don't use.
We live near the border, so nobody comes and visits us very often. So
so I turned it into this little office area here, which we're at now with the computer. And Kim's got a little workstation where she's been helping me out with, and the rest of it has just been in air conditioning, where I love it.
Big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
So, in your eBay office, I know you had been rearranging, because for a while you just grew all your crates and stuff like that in there. Talk a little bit about and I love your system on some of the ways you label some of your crates. Talk about how that came about, and how do you use your system for storing your items that you have listed in your crates?
Well, I guess really it's probably just maybe watching other YouTube channels with their bins. Probably, everybody does their putting stuff on shelves or does things differently. Of course, again, I was raised in an area, so I knew back stock and how the stocks shelves are, and an inventory system. So that really a SKU system was not anything new to try to figure out. You want to find something, you put it on a shelf or a bin, and you label that shelf for that bin, and you know where it's at. So that was pretty simple for me. But the bin's not even so much from just regular eBay seller as the clothing sellers, like that I watch when I watch their videos. Because most of the clothing sellers all have their bins, and they're all marked really well. Yeah. And I was like, that's the way to do it. I got to have the bins to hold my stuff. Plus, if it gets a little dusty or whatever, I just keep the lids on them. So once I clean them and put them away, I don't have to worry about re-cleaning or dusting them off again.
Yeah. So when you do your sourcing, where do you tend to source the most? Like when you're going out sourcing? Because I have been watching a lot of your videos where you do tend to go to different places. So what is the main place you like to go to?
Well, there's a couple different thrift shops down here. Thrift City's one, Texas Thrift's another. We have a Goodwill around the area, and there are some other ones. Now, we live in an area which is, I would say, well, there's a lot of people, but I'm going to say the unlike a big city or a metropolitan where you have higher clientele or more money, we have a lot less money. So it's a lot harder to search and look for stuff. And I think what we call down here are full-time garage sale people. Because we'll have garage sales not just on Fridays and Saturdays, but you can drive down the street and sometimes you'll see them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we would go to garage sales, but a lot of the garage sales were the same people all the time. And it would, they're full timers. They'd have it 2, 3, 4 times a week. They'd be every day, and they'd sell stuff that they picked up at thrift shops or other places. So thrift shops are primarily our best. Now we have a couple of flea markets, and I haven't done any videos on the flea markets, but we have a couple of really large flea markets. But down here, again, everybody's wanting their prices for stuff. It's not like when we just went to Austin and I picked up a couple of things when I was up there at Austin tripping. It's a lot of stuff for me, but I picked up a few things. The prices there were the same prices here, but they were higher priced items, better quality items. Down here, you really got to hunt and pick.
Well, you have Amy in that says, "Hey, Mom, Dad."
Your daughter.
Yeah.
I told she wanted to watch, and I said, "Well, you got to get on and say hi."
Well, thank you for being here, Miss Amy. It's so good to see the family in the chat supporting you. Also, everybody's loving the dog, which I told you that's evidently what it was.
She's so needy. She knows we're here working, so she has to. And she's Roy's dog.
I noticed that in some of the videos when you first started going into that room to set it up.
Yeah.
She started hard to stay at the door.
She acts out like right.
Yeah, but we have another dog, but she stays pretty quiet.
And by the way, for those who don't know, the guest today is the RK Treasure Center. Their link is in the top blue box above in the chat. If you missed it, it is pinned up for the show. So if you catch their videos and their link, it's right there at the top. Go ahead and make sure you check it out. I'm going to ask you the next question because of, again, a lot of your videos. Where do you, most of your videos is like also coming out natural and you're talking about problems that people may be having. Here's some solutions. Here's some things to do. What got you into starting to do that type of videos with your sales?
Mostly it's just that, like anything, if you have a question or you run into a problem or you think about a situation that maybe you're kind of dealing with, well, guarantee if eBay is as big as it is, then other people are going through the same thing or have thought about it or have questions. And more than likely, whenever you start something, if you don't have someone sitting right next to you that knows what they're doing, it's hands-on, learn by trial and error, making mistakes, and sometimes they can be costly mistakes, but generally trial and error. Right. So I figure if I can do videos where I'm explaining things, talking about a little bit more, and I'm really trying here coming up to really put out some really more in-depth videos on helping people out with stuff. Right. But I try to answer every comment that I get in my videos. Sometimes it's difficult, but I try to answer every comment. Yeah. And I get a lot of people with questions. And of course, yes, a lot of times they're the same questions over that I may get today or tomorrow or the next week. It could be something about sizes of boxes. Where do you get your shipping supplies? Whatever. But I try to incorporate that in videos. Every so many videos, I may do a kind of the same thing type of stuff. But I want to make sure that there should be help. There should be plenty of people that want to help. Yeah. And the reselling community, we got a good reselling community. We really do. Yeah. In comparison, just watch YouTube and look at comments on people's videos and like today's videos and things like that, and the live. You're going to have a lot of support and a lot of people looking out for each other. Yeah. But so for new people and people that are just starting on eBay, and with the policies always changing on eBay about every 6 months and things really growing, and it's becoming more of a cyber digital world, things get really compounded, and you can get your mind crazy if you don't, trying to learn one thing on a quick pace. eBay was like rock, paper, scissors back in the day, but now it's like flying spaceships. So you got to know a lot more. So
yeah. Harry wants to know, Roy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, he's a very good talker. It's kind of a joke within the family. The kids would get in trouble and just spank me. Just put me in timeout. Don't lecture me. And you bring them back and lecture an hour later. They're like, that was the worst.
I got the whipping. I love it. Harry wants to know, Roy, will the dog bite you if you try to pat it when the dog's on the wife's lap?
No.
She has. It's his. I mean, she is in love with Roy, but she's weird. You can be petting her and she can growl. Like when she's tired, she's like an old. She just. Weird.
Yeah. Doesn't want to be touched.
She's a chihuahua.
She's got her mind.
But she's in love with Roy. She's so in tune. She watches everything he says. Like she's watching him now.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to say next?
Everybody saying hit the thumbs up. Everybody saying hello to good morning. Good morning, Jennifer. Good to see you. How are you doing? Mr. Paul Philly Flipper. Hello, good morning, and welcome. If you have any questions for Roy or Kim, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll go ahead and get them answered. I'm going through to see if I missed any questions. A lot of things, the same things. Yep. Somebody made a comment earlier about when you said that something about being grateful for what you have or something in that route. I saw that in the comment. But good morning, Judy May. Roy and Kim, good morning.
Good morning.
There's Glam's link there. My sister Irene, hello, good morning, and welcome. That sucks, Harry. Shirley Temple tonight. Let's see. No, I won't do a live. Okay, they're just talking to each other here. Good morning, Mess Hall Diggs. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hello. There are some that don't want to help, and it's truly a shame. We all help. Yeah. And that's one thing about Roy. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I first started watching you, it was like and I'm going to tell this to anybody who wants to go and watch your channels. I'm telling you, once you get started at watching a video from Roy, it's like you're glued to the TV to see what he's going to talk about next. And that's how I started watching you, because you drew me in. And then every time I would watch your videos, and it's like I was thinking of like something that I'm having an issue with when I first started, and I watch your channel. Next, there you are talking about it. That was weird, but again,
right.
Once you get started, you get glued into it. And that's what I like about it. Good morning, James. Let's see, definitely local. Everybody saying hello. Everybody, James is in Mexico.
Good.
He tries to make the show every morning. Good morning. Good morning, Helen. How are you doing, New England thrifter? But yeah, he's been in New Mexico for I think 6 or 8 months. Something like that.
Right.
Oh yeah, he did a big old countdown when he was moving.
Yeah, we're like a mile from the border. We're right here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 miles.
Yeah.
But close enough.
Yeah, we're close to the border.
Let's see here. I'm trying to get caught up real quick. Roy, can you recommend a source of
acquiring
silver eagles?
No, not particularly. There's a lot out there. Generally, I would just go online and go to different, gold, silver coin places that sell them. Generally, they'll do better if you buy them in bulk. For individuals, things like that, I would say look at for collectors in the area, or even I'll tell you even on eBay and some other places, you can generally find some things once in a while. If you keep your eyes open, you can find them at good prices. Other than that, the only best places I can find them is you got to buy things in large quantities and large bulk. Yeah. So I don't really go out looking for that stuff at the online anymore.
Right. That's how Dig wants to know, how often do you travel to find inventory? And I'm going to add to that because that was going to be part of my next question. And what would be the furthest you would travel to find some? Because I know you've done it before.
Yeah. Well, I guess if it's part of a vacation, we will travel just about anywhere.
Or to see our
and that's probably where your next
Austin.
question was going to come up, because we just made a long journey around the United States. Now we have a converted van, so we only got so much room we can put stuff in there.
Right.
Although I've been trying to convince Kim to let me get a little box pull trailer to take along when we go on our trips. Yeah. But we will. Right now, it's the most is probably just
when we go to El Paso, Austin.
I'd say we go. Local. It takes us about from here 10, 11 hour drive to get to El Paso, because we're southern bottom tip, and Texas is big. Right. So we got El Paso, Austin, Dallas. When we're heading up towards Dallas, if we go up that way.
We hope to go to New Mexico in October sometime, so we'll probably be sourcing there.
Yeah.
Oh, neat. The seller Sniper says, I live a mile from the border. I live in El Paso, Texas.
Oh, well, nice.
Well,
our other set of children are in El Paso.
We were there a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So there you go. You might better meet up one day. You just never know.
Right.
Jennifer, any more typewriters? Dawn's channel. Hello, good morning, and welcome. Lavita. Hello, good morning, and welcome to you as well. Jennifer's already dropping links. That was a good question. Let's see here. Any other questions? Jennifer, yeah, she's dropping links left and right. So, Kim, do you tend to do more of listings now that you're more into the room upstairs or in the house now? Do you do some of the sourcing too?
I honestly, Roy has done most of it until recently. I would take things to the post office. I still am very hands-on with my parents, so there's a lot of doctor appointments. I'm gone like 3 times a week, sometimes, to this and that. But
Wow.
recently, Roy and I sat down, and I used to post, years ago, and he really said, I need, I need help. So I said, I'll tell you what, just put a big bin full of stuff, and I'll learn again and start posting. And I'm enjoying it. So this past week and a half, I'm now I feel like putting in probably 12 to 15 hours a week with posting.
Yeah,
Well, that's
she's
how you
been,
get started.
well, she's been
Yeah.
my mail person,
Yeah,
rapid shipping type
yeah.
person. She does that pretty much every morning. And then of course source for inventory, help me out with different things or cleaning stuff if she needs to. But now,
Yeah.
and she did, like she said, she did listing before, but
not as in depth.
As in depth as she's doing now.
Right.
I like writing the descriptions. I like to make them colorful.
Right.
Like, some people just put basic, but I get in there and start, you'll love this beautiful.
I tell her, I'm glad you like listing.
And it's interesting to look it up and try to find it. It's like trying to look for a treasure, and then you find it, like, oh, I'll sell a similar item or something, and then you have to sometimes guess, if you can't find it.
That's true. And one good thing about it too, I think if I'm not mistaken, you were also, I think a couple of times in Kat's channel, the Nurse Flipper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she does a lot of different things where, and then what's a good thing about that too is you can reach out to her if you have any questions, especially when it comes to glassware, which brings me to my next question.
Right.
When you do go sourcing, which I found in a lot of your videos where you do tend to find, like say a lid or a bottom, and you still buy those type of glasswares. What got you into collecting or selling, not collecting, but that'd be another question. When you're sourcing to buy those type of items.
Well, when you're referring to like glassware, like lids,
Corningware,
yeah, mostly Pyrex lids.
Yeah.
And the reason being is, I guess, people are always looking for a lid, and a lot of times you buy pots or pans without something. And I had actually bought, I think, a set of Corningware, the Visionware or something, and none of them had their lids with it. And it just so happened that I went to the thrift shop like the following week, and I found a Visionware lid that fit one of the pots.
Right.
And of course the value went up a lot because of that. I was like, well, that's okay. It's pretty good. So when I started looking at lids and Pyrex lids, of course everybody's got what they're looking for Pyrex lids, is I realized Pyrex lids aren't a fast seller. However, they do sell, and they almost all sell. If I'll go pick up 20 of them, it may take me a month or 2, and sometimes 3, but all 20 of them will be gone.
Yeah.
And that's because people are always looking for lids to fit their pots, pans, whatever they're going for. Right. And lids you can always find for, it seems like 25, 50 cents, maybe 99 cents at a thrift shop, or you're always finding Pyrex lids. I don't pick up the ones with chips or cracks in them or anything like that, but you go up and there's always a shelf that just has tons of them. So I just learned, like I said, they may not be super fast sellers, but they always sell.
Right. Now, when you go sourcing, is there any particular thing you tend to go to the most? No matter where you go, you tend to go to this one area first, like the one thing you like to pick up the most.
Coffee.
No. One particular spot though. No, I can't really say so. I mean, I'd like to say, I guess no.
One of the answers would be no, because I've noticed that you do tend to buy different things, and that's what I like about your videos. Right. So when one of the things I want to ask Ness is, because sometimes you have a tendency when you're doing your video where you can't find something, but you put it in that bin. What happens with that? Do you actually always tend to find it quickly, or do you just sit back and look for it after you've done your video? Because I notice you always, like when you're looking for something you sold, and then all of a sudden you have this thing where you have to stop to find it. Is there like a long period of time that it takes you to find a particular item, or you pretty much find it after?
Oh, no, I find it right away. I generally, if I stop the video or something like that, it's mostly because I got to move around stuff that's on the floor that I don't want people to see. I got hot and I need to turn the air conditioning back on to cool down a little bit. But no, the item's right there, and I just try to take out dead space out of the videos because
that's an excuse system.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I walk from the table and I go around over here and pull an item and I talk about it, but I come back over here, I mean, who wants to watch a video where all you're doing is walking back and forth?
Exactly.
And so yeah, I will move around the room, but I will generally the video camera's running pretty much the whole time while I'm in there. But I just edit and cut out those long blank pauses. Otherwise, you get those awkward silences that look like this. Yeah.
So my next question is: I know you recently, not that long ago, actually moved into the room in the house. What did you do? What are you doing as far as your inventory eBay area? As far as did you get more room out of that when you moved some of your stuff out of there to be able to get more room for your inventory?
Yes, because basically what I did is I took my desk that was out there. You have a desk, a bookcase, so you have a part of a wall where I was doing the computer and all my stuff there. So by bringing it into this room in the house and making this the office, that gave me a whole wall, and plus I rearranged that whole shed, so I opened it up a little bit more. And then, like I said, the other part of the garage, which is on the other side of the door, I think I've shown one time in one video, probably about 7-8 months ago.
Yeah.
And I think it was entitled something like "What's Behind This Door" or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That's where a lot of my unlisted inventory is, and the garage and the tools and everything else. So I don't go out there and showcase video because that would be horrible. That'd be like looking in your dad's garage or dirty underwear drawer or something. I don't know. I can't. I just saying. Who wants to see that kind of stuff? You try to. Yes, we have messes. We have piles. Some of us are more neater than others.
He has a wall of boxes, like it's right before you go into the other room. It's up to the ceiling, and when we get empty boxes, just throw it up there. And I said, "Let me rearrange them. Let me stack them. No, don't touch them."
Yeah, I've got an avalanche of boxes.
An avalanche of boxes.
Wherever I get extra boxes or something that are already taped and sealed, I don't want to cut the tape and fold them, break them down. I want to be able to look and see what size they are. I just throw them up there. If I need a box, I reach in there and grab it.
If he grabs the wrong one, it's coming down.
Hello, Roman. How are you doing? Good morning. Hello and welcome. Little Miss Q says, I guess you don't watch NC Flippers and Commonwealth Flippers because their videos are always walking around picking sites with the whole time. Yes, there are some people who do that.
Well, I walk around in my videos. I do. You will see me walking around. But if I'm walking around, I'm talking or doing something or explaining something, or it's kind of that hidden, as I walk this way and I got the camera going, I'm showing you how my SKU system works. I'm showing you what my office looks like, but it's not constant back and forth. I may do it 2 or 3 times in a video, but generally I will just all of a sudden, or once or twice in a video, but I'll just come around and just walk up to a bin and show you, because like I said, I don't want to spend that 5-10 seconds of constantly walking around. That adds up over time and it gets boring.
Right. Okay, so I want to ask the next question in reference to when you are, and I've seen you do this in your videos. When you go to get your list of things that's sold, you tend to print out a list. Talk a little bit about that on how you do that before when you're pulling your orders out, because I see so many different people doing it different ways, and I like the way you do yours. It's similar to what I do. But talk about how you do that report and how you pull that out to get your orders together for the day.
Well, some people, it depends because I'll explain it for myself here in a second. But generally smaller eBayers, things, they'll sell 1 or 2 items. They can easily just take their phone or whatever, just go grab it, and that's it.
Right.
And we do have our slow days. So I'll tell you, we do. We're not someone that sells hundreds of items every day. Mm-hmm. That's not the case,
Right.
But when we have sales, whether it's it doesn't matter, 4 items, 1 item, or 20 items. What I will do is I'll just take the list of items that sold and print that page off. And that way I do it for several reasons. One, when I pull inventory, I can write any notes I need to on there. I can weigh the item, put that item on there and everything. Because I always do my bulk printing of my shipping labels all at one time. Where a lot of people do them one at a time, I do them all at one time.
Right.
So it gives me a reference to look at. Plus, when I'm doing my videos, I'm able to talk about something and know exactly if I'm going to go walk to a certain area to pick up an item, I know where the next item is going to be, or generally what's on that list. So I kind of have, an order on the video so I know where I'm going. Right. Then when I'm done, I will list everything, print my labels and put it up. But I'll also, I guess it's kind of double paperwork. I'll kind of print off everything once everything has their shipping labels put on and everything. I print off the shipping label page. And I'll also print off the completed page, the pick list, and I put it all together. And again, it's just all it is just making paperwork and killing trees, probably, or recycled paper. but and that's just so we have something to files. So that way, when we do tax season and everything, because we actually do our own, we don't have a CPA or anything like that. We do all our own taxes, keep track of all our stuff that way. Then we have reference to go to, and we also, because we do our own, we have physical proof of something. If something was to go on, or we were to be audited, and we never have been. That's something like, knock on wood, but that we have. I have a reference to go back to, because then trying to find some computer program that might have something on there that I have no idea what I'm looking for, but I can pull out a stack of papers from 4 years ago. Thumb through it, look at it, and it'll jog a memory. Oh, I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll have some new people that's coming in. So I would like you to go back again, like we did at the beginning of the show, because there's a lot of new people that was not here at the beginning of the show. And for those who don't know who you are, go ahead and talk a bit about your channel, what you do, and how long you've been doing this. And then I'll make sure to let everybody know the link for their channel is in the blue box above. If you haven't checked out their channel and you haven't watched any of their videos, you're missing out. There's the link, and go ahead and tell everybody about you and your channel and what y'all both do.
Well, all right. Well, for everybody that's new, just came in again, my name is Roy, and this is my lovely wife, Kim.
I'm Kim.
and we've been selling on eBay for over 10 years now. 10 years is of August, so we just past the 10-year mark. But we've been reselling. I always say I've been a reseller all my life, because it practically has been.
Right.
But between Kim and I, we've been doing it as a couple for over 25 years.
Yeah, because we'll hit 30 years being married in October.
Yeah. So next month's 30-year mark. But anyway, well, we've been selling eBay, and I try to do my videos, Arcade Treasure Center, where we do a lot of not just what sold. I do a lot of what sold videos, but I try to go around, but I do informational videos. Or I try to put something in the videos, every video, that's more than just a little bit of knowledge. And I try to do it a little bit different than everybody else. And I try to help. It's kind of my way of subtly helping newer eBayers, because there's a lot of new eBayers out there every single day that's needing to, how do I sell my items a little faster? How do I wrap an item, ship an item? What do I do if I have an item that's sold and somebody cancels it, within an hour after I sold it, or past a deadline, or whatever the case may be? There's a lot of fears, and I want to take those fears away, because I actually love selling on eBay. I'm going to continue to sell on eBay. eBay is my 99.99% platform to sell on, mostly because it's a lot of other with other platforms means you got to have more time to do stuff, and I stay busy enough as it is. But we do quite well. We're full-time eBay sellers, and we do well on it. So since Kim and I, and we've been working together, but since we are able to do this and be successful at it, we want to help other people. So that's why I do the videos that I do. It's not so much just to do videos. I don't do videos for revenue or resource, because truthfully, that doesn't make enough. I make more on eBay than I do through the videos at this point in time anyway. But I do the videos because they weren't there when I needed it. When I first got started 10 years ago, everything was trial and error, make mistakes and lose out on money. So I want people to not have to experience that. Everybody's going to make mistakes. I mean, you can't stop that. But if I can lessen people's from mistakes or have videos out there that may be a reference that they can go to, that's why I started YouTube. I started just because I enjoy helping people.
Right.
And another aspect of YouTube, eBay that I love is everybody nowadays needs a second income, and you got to be willing to work, whether it's cleaning houses, babysitting, working on eBay. We have to be bigger than just expecting a handout. And there's always money to be made if you're willing to work at it. And we're a firm believer in working. We love our entrepreneurship, I guess, being our own bosses. And
absolutely,
if we don't work, if we're not posting or doing better, then we don't make money, and that's our own fault. So it's just finding that motivation. We've done it since the kids were younger. We used to go to the flea market. We set up a tool shed out there and rented that. We've gone flea marketing, yard sales. I mean, since our married life, we've always tried to bring in extra income. We had 4 children, and you do what you have to do. And so that's why I love eBay.
Yeah. And so now it's all eBay. But, you know, the thing is do you work hard to sell on eBay as a full-time seller? And the answer is yes. But I do not work mentally as long as I did at a full-time job. And it's because of stress. It's my job. It's my business. If I want to take today off, I'm going to take today off. If I'm going to only work 4 hours today and go sourcing and look for items at a thrift shop and just have a good time, that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
We create our own schedule. We want to go on vacation. We work a little bit harder, put a little bit more money away, make sure we got stuff in savings because we don't want to ruin our savings. But then we make sure we go. If we wanted to go tomorrow and say, hey, let's drive to wherever and let's just take off tomorrow and go do it. I don't have to go to a boss. I don't have to put in for time off, or I don't have to do anything like that. Let's go. And we go.
But it's hard work. Roy puts in a lot of hours.
Now, for a person that doesn't have a job, they need to put in the hours if they want to make the money on eBay. And for somebody that has a job and doesn't have time to do all that stuff, I always tell people in my videos, especially what I say is, if you're like Kim said, you need that extra income, you need that extra money. If you can sit and watch YouTube videos, then you have time to do a listing or 2 or 3. And one thing about the eBay algorithm, I don't know everything about the eBay algorithm, but I've learned quite a bit, is eBay promotes and pushes people that are constantly busy on eBay. And so if you list, I say at least 1 item, but if you can list 3 items a day, and they can be simple items. If you pick up a set of pens out of your junk drawer and want to send some old used pens, you might have a good one in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just saying, if you pick up some inexpensive items, everybody has stuff around their house they can get rid of. Everybody can have stuff. There's garage sales you can buy for 25 cents. But if you can list 3 items a day, at least 3 items a day, pretty much every single day, you will notice that all of a sudden your sales, one reason is you got stock. But the second reason is eBay is going, hey, this person's staying pretty active every day. And their algorithm will actually pick that up and push it at times. Won't push it all the time. I mean, you have to do your due diligence about everything else. But I have noticed that there's times where we've listed and then maybe, we stopped and the same amount of items are there for a week. Maybe we didn't list anything for a whole week. We went on vacation. But while we were listing, items were selling, but then all of a sudden we stopped listing and now we're still getting some sales, but now they're tapering off a little bit. Well, the same items were there. It's just that the eBay was pushing it. So
we did find when we went on the trip for a month and closed eBay down, it took us a little time to get going again. And I don't think we'll go that long a period and shut down, maybe a week, 2 at the most. We decided because it just takes a long time to get it going again to sell.
Right. See, that was another good example. There is when we opened the store back up, the exact same amount of listings were there as it was when we shut down the store. But for the first week, we probably didn't have 4 sales.
Yeah.
And that, it's like, okay, why is there only 4 sales? It's been open for a week. What the heck's going on? We got the same amount, almost 400 and something listings is what we had in the store. We did when we were selling 5, 6, 7 items, 8, 10 items a day. And now all of a sudden for a whole week, we only had 4. So I started pulling out the unlisted inventory, started listing it going, and all of a sudden there goes the sales again. So
it was that trigger of new product.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So my next question is, being you were talking about that, do you tend to, or what is your opinion about promoting your listings and or the suggested promoting trending promoting?
Yeah, that's a toughie. I mean, I think everybody kind of goes through that same question, and I'm still going through it. I do have promoted listings. I don't promote my listings right away. And everybody can have their own opinions and everybody can do their own things. But when you do a promoted listing, it means you're paying more money. I mean, you're already paying, 12.5%, 13% to eBay for your item for their sale when they list everything, about 13%. Then if you promote your listing for whether it's 1% or 2%, you're adding to that percentage, which is still cheaper than if you were to go to a consignment shop and do it at 40% or something like that. Right. But I have noticed that, my items will sell whether they're promoted or they're not promoted. They'll either sell or they won't sell. Sometimes they will. But generally what I will do is I will run sales. That's my more common thing. However, I do about once a month, I will go through and look at the items that I had listed during that month, or that 2 months ago now, because we're already past a month. And if it's not promoted or it's an item that I think is not very common or very popular, then I'll put it and I'll promote it. And I may do it for 1 or 2%, but I don't go anything above that. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm already paying eBay 13% when the item sells from list and selling all that from their fees. I don't want to kill my revenue by giving it percentage. You look at some people do that. They'll say, okay, I'll put sales on sale. I'll do a promoted listing. Well, if you may have a small item, and especially if you're a smaller eBayer and you don't have the capital, the money to be able to go out and buy something for $50 or something that might sell for $500, or buy something for $20 that might sell for $100. But you might find an item at a garage sale or several items at a garage sale for $1 or $2 because you may only be able to afford to spend $20 today or something like that, or this week. So you buy that item and it'll only sell for $9.99 plus shipping. Well, and so yeah, you're making profit because you're only paying. You bought it for 99 cents. You sell it for $9.99. The buyer pays the shipping. We won't cover that. But now you have your eBay fees that come out. So that's you're going to lose about $3. Once you get all the fees taken care of, you're going to take about $3 off of that $9.99.
Yep. Plus
your original $1 you paid for it. But now you decided you're going to promote it, and you did an eBay suggested promoted listing, and theirs was maybe on this item it was 7.5%. Well, now you're adding 7.5% added to that fee. Then, of course, like I said, pretty much all of a sudden now you just killed any good profit. Do I sell $9.99 items? Yes, I do. I do sell them all the time.
Yep.
If you sell 1 or 2, you're only making a few dollars. But if you can sell $9.99 items, and you can sell 100 of them this week, well, if you only made $4 profit, you made $400 profit.
We always look at a sale as we always say, oh, there's our milk, or we can put gas in the car. I mean, we can,
Yeah.
but we look at it each sale as a blessing.
Yeah.
We don't think just because we sold $100, $150, that's great. But even the smallest sale, because someone took the time, they wanted that item, that's their good hard-earned money, and we're on the recipient, maybe paid 99 cents for it. We get the blessing from it, and we're thankful for it. We don't never take it for granted, any sale that we make.
Exactly. So as you're going through, you've been doing it for so long, do you recall, no matter how long it's been or how soon it's been, the best flip item that you've bought when you bought it thinking, oh, this is not going to be for much, but I'll take it anyway and I'll buy it to flip, but yet it was way more that you sold it for than you thought you would? If so, what it was?
The best one?
Yeah.
I've had a couple that I guess I'm going to say a couple surprising ones.
Mm-hmm.
I found now I can't remember what the name of it is. I found it's kind of a what is that? I can't read. It's like a turbo flame thing. I can't think of what it is. It's one that you start a fire. It's a little chimney. You start a fire in it, but the way it's designed and everything creates that extra power, that extra boost on it. It's just a little aluminum looking thermos.
Right.
Something. Well, when I saw it on the shelf, I didn't quite catch in my head what it was. I thought it was a funny looking thermos, maybe from the 70s or something, or 50s, or I don't know, some military thing. It was lightweight. I picked it up, looked at it, looked at the bottom or whatever, and then I realized when I looked at it that I have seen those similar items before, and it was really super lightweight. I'm telling you, it probably didn't weigh 10 ounces complete as a thermos, a good size. So I immediately thought, let me look this up, see what the value is. When I looked at them, they were selling all day long at $100.
Wow.
So I thought, okay, and I looked at it in the thrift shop, which, I'm going to tell you this, these thrift shops nowadays are smart. This thrift shop I go to, they're just wide open. You can look over the back shelf and look over the top, see the workers in the back, and there's 5 or 6 computers back there, and they're all pulling their items and looking on eBay to see what to sell it for. It's that blatant. Yep, here we are. Well, obviously they don't know how to look up everything. Well, when I looked it up, the first thing I did was try to type in the name or something like that, but there was no name on it. It was the bottom was kind of worn just a little bit, but you couldn't see a name because it was imprinted in aluminum. So I just started typing in descriptions of the best thing I could find, and that's how I all of a sudden caught this item. And they were selling it for 99 cents, and I was like, I got this, take it home. And I listed it, and it probably took about 3 days and ended up selling to a guy in Alaska. And I listed it for $120 plus the shipping. And it only took about 3 days to sell.
Wow.
Now, my best, ultimate ever item, and I'll never, ever find one again, was a watch when we first started eBay. And it was called a Patek Philippe. And I've never heard that name, but it's Patek and then like Philip, but Philippe, F-I-L-E.
Interesting. I've never heard of that.
Like that. F-I-L-E-P-E. If you look it up, it's one of those things where even if you can find their advertisements, they're out of a magazine, their advertisements will sell. That's how extremely, a Swiss-made watch. Well, this watch, I didn't know anything about. Took it, started looking. If you type in Patek Philippe on P-A-T-E-K, Philippe, and you type it in and you look, that's it. Yeah. Yep. If you type it in and look at it, you will see those are outrageous watch prices.
Wow.
And I had this watch, this older one, and it was probably from the 1960s, 70s. And I listed it. It sold for $7,800 on auction. And I probably got underbidded.
Now, did you start the bid at a certain price when you did that on
99 cents? I started all my auctions at 99 cents.
Wow.
This was in the very beginning of
And I'm going to tell you this. And when we say in the very beginning, this was within my first 3 months of being on eBay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And back then, it wasn't even quite as, you don't know, because a lot of items you just mailed, So,
we found a silver log at Goodwill one time. Log, it opens up like a jewelry box, and you would think it's covered in silver. I said, surely this isn't real silver. And it was for like $6. And Roy said, well, get it and we'll just see. And it had like red velour inside. We took it home, and it ended up being like very rare. It was out of New York. It was an artist, some brothers that made very few of them. And we probably could have got more for it, but we ended up selling it for like $125.
Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't a solid silver, you know, just the outside silver, sterling silver, whatever.
Right.
Not a plate, but the lid and stuff around the outside,
right,
and everything wasn't solid. So, but that was another one of those interesting finds. You know? So they're out there, but.
Now, when you do go sourcing, is there any particular thing that you, I wouldn't say refuse, but just don't pick up when you're sourcing?
Probably anything I'm gonna have to, anything that looks
heavy,
broken, damaged, something I'm gonna spend an extra amount of time to clean, that I know probably just based on what it is, that I don't want to take the time to work on that. If it's going to be worth some valuable money, if I'm going to buy something for $5 that'll sell for $200 all day long or $50 all day long, I'll pick it up and clean it up.
Right.
But if it's going to be something that I'm only going to make $5 off of, and it's going to take me, because, you know, time is money, and we do, you know, we're our own hourly person. We get, you know, we don't get paid by that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So now I try to avoid. As for me, I've got unlisted shirts and stuff like that, but I am not a clothing person. On the other hand, I have come across things. I sold a Disney Parks Mickey Mouse shirt just a little while back that I picked up for $1.99, $2. I don't know. I might even paid $3 for that or something like that at the thrift store. But it was Disney Parks. And it was a Aloha shirt, Aloha Mickey shirt, had Mickey around throughout. So I knew that was going to be popular. It was good looking, but the reason I picked it up, it was a size 3X.
Oh, wow.
So unique shirts in large sizes. Generally, we tend to go look at clothing. When I say we, I mean as people, we look for things that are in our size or around our size. If like for me, I wear extra large shirts. So generally when I walk in, what catches me are the tag that says extra large, and then I'll go to the right or go to the left.
Right.
Well, if you're going to get into selling clothes, or if you're going to do it more often, then you want to be able to look down the line, see what catches your eye, and you want to and go from the whole thing. But really, large sizes in today's world, you know, Americans, we are all large people now. Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the way we eat.
Yep.
So I would say, if you want to be a clothing seller or sell clothes on eBay and make money, for men's clothes, I would say definitely hit the higher sizes, because they will sell on eBay more quickly. For
unique shoes.
For women, I would say make sure you're looking at the plus sizes. You know, there's plenty of smaller people. There's plenty of petites. Now, if it's something that's unique or something that's totally different, the leather, you know, 1980s, whatever leather jacket that, you know, I don't know, Michael Jackson type jacket or something like that he might have had, then those aren't around, and sometimes those are popular. So if it's a size small, pick it up. You know, I mean, that you can sell that. But I'm just saying, for clothing, I try to avoid it. I'm not a clothing person, but if you're going to do it, if somebody's listening out there and they're into clothing, because there's a lot of Poshmark people out there, and God bless them. I love them all. I really, truly do. That's a hard thing to do, is to put myself in a clothing category.
Yeah.
So, you know, people on Poshmark that sell clothes and they do it all day long. Man, I'll watch them so I learn.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just, and let me tell you, down here in South Texas and by the border, and we talked about this on Cat's channel, they have things called ropas. And what that is a ropa, meaning clothing. And so in Spanish, it means clothing. They have warehouses down here where they have piles. And when I'm talking piles, I'm talking
as tall as a
it's
house.
Open. It's an open warehouse.
Yeah.
They just take all the clothes. I think, and I firmly believe this, that like Goodwill and different places and so forth, and they have the Goodwill bins. But companies around the United States, when they're done with their clothing, they don't just throw them in the trash. They find a buyer. Well, we'll see trucks down here, semi trucks driving by with squared off, look like cotton bale bundles, but it's clothes. And they'll go to these warehouses and drop them off. And so you will see a mountain of clothes. Tags
still on them, leather jackets. I mean,
Oh,
but you have to climb.
You have to climb through them. And
yeah,
now,
that's
if
not
you think
fun.
about it, I just said they came on a semi truck. So that you don't know what weather they came through. You don't know what environment they came through. And we have gone to them a few times. You find good clothes with the tag. Like I said, you find some good stuff. If you really search, you will find good, clean, brand new with tags clothing.
It's like 30 cents to 40 cents a pound or something like that.
Oh, wow.
But,
yeah.
However, amongst that pile is all that other clothing that was brought in that may have been on a showroom floor that was pushed and swept with a broom, and it's got all its dust and dirt,
got
and
a couple bugs,
critters, or whatever else may be. Because we have, So after we went to about 2 or 3 of them, and I'm like, I can't do this.
I just got tired of these little elderly ladies passing me up, climbing those big hills while I'm huffing and puffing halfway through. And I'm like, this isn't working for me. And then of course, when you see a couple bugs,
ouch.
But I would say for anybody that's never been to something like that, if you're ever to a place and you see
it's unique to go to,
has a ropa or something like that, and a big clothing barn like that, I would say for the experience, I would say go for it.
And it benefits a lot of people that need clothes or want to resell.
I would say that down here, the reason you get those places is we're the last shop. So those places exist, and once it's done and nobody's really pulling anything else,
they're probably going to Mexico.
They take all that and they shred it, recycle it, or send it to Mexico.
Oh, wow. Perfecting Pros might not have been here when y'all did talk about this, but how long have y'all been reselling?
Over 10 years.
All right. So like I said, we've been selling on eBay for 10 years, just as of this last August, and reselling. Like I said, as a married couple, we've been reselling for over 25 years to our 30-year mark. 30 year will be next month. So that's our anniversary. Mm-hmm. But I've been reselling since I was probably 6 years old with my dad, learning at flea markets and going around. And I still remember flea market of course, I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was over by Virginia, and it was Virginia or Illinois. But I still remember walking around, and I found a pocket knife on the ground, and I was about 6 years old. And my dad, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And he said, "Do you want to sell it?" And I said, "Well, do I get the money?" He said, "You get all the money." So I took it and put it on the table, and I don't remember what we put on the table for, like $5 or something like that. And I think within 5 minutes, somebody walked by, saw it, picked it up, and bought it for $5. And I was hooked from there on. So,
that's one way to start that type of work.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was ready to do that. But I've been reselling, like I said, ever since I was little. I've been some sort of hustle. I used to sell pencils in school. You sit there and say, "I forgot my pencil. 5 cents. I got a pencil." I tell you what, I'll break the tip off. I'll just use the little tip here. I'll go sharpen the pencil. You can have the rest of it for 5 cents.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I did.
All right, so my next question for you. Hello, Cameron. Good morning. Hello and welcome. Let's see. I just found American Stores. 1K pellet. Now, the next question is, do y'all ever do or have gone to and done any type of storage units or pallet buys?
No, we haven't done a storage unit. I would like to.
Yeah.
I think most of the reason I haven't gone to a storage unit is mostly because I'm afraid I'm going to find that storage unit that's going to be fully packed. It's going to look really good, and I won't have any place to put that stuff.
Exactly.
Then if I do get it, bring it home, or even got no storage place to put it, then it would take me a year to go through all that stuff.
Yeah.
I would have
He
to
may
do
be
sales.
living in the van if he did that. His office would be now in the van.
Yeah.
No more room for you in the house.
No.
Yeah. And as for pallet buys, I have bought quantities of stuff, kind of what I guess you could call it a pallet buy, but not too often. Again, for the same reason.
Right.
And I think if the down where we're at, I think if the quality of, again, and we spoke about this earlier, based on where we live is a poor or lower income area. Not to say it's poor, it's not. It's
Right.
It's just lower income versus a, like I said, metropolitan or big city or places where you got big businesses that people just they just throw away the strangest things. People down here will really hustle and work hard for their money, and so they hold on to things.
They cherish it.
They hold on to stuff, or before they get rid of it, they're either going to get their money worth out of it or their use out of it. So we got to really fight for that stuff. So when it comes to buying storage units and pallets, I have seen some online or different things around here online, and it's just your normal stuff I'm going to go find anyway at thrift store. So I just go to the thrift shop or garage sale.
Awesome. If you have any questions for Kim or Roy, go ahead and put it in the chat. I had another question. It just scrolled a moment there. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Jennifer's dropping the links already. Also, don't forget, if you haven't checked out Roy and Kim's channel, it is at the top in the blue box. It is RK Treasure Center, and it is their link for their channel. Check it out. And there it is on his shirt as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get ready to open the chat in a little bit for those in the chat that would like to come on the panel and join us. What would be some tips, being you've been doing this for so long, and I know a lot of your videos are kind of like what sold and then some tips based on the comments that you get in some of your videos. What would be some, and for both you and Kim, what would be some of the tips that you would give someone, as if, first of all, if they're a couple getting into this, or if they're thinking about getting into it and there are couples, or just in general, some great tips from both of you as far as what to give tips for those people who are looking at wanting to get into this in either way, couple or not. Starting with,
go ahead, you start off.
We'll go with you first.
There's, as couples, Roy and I are opposites. I'm like the Energizer Bunny, run, type A personality. I admit that.
Yeah.
Roy is like,
I'm a thinker.
A thinker and slow and happy and just moving along. And I'm like, let's go. That kind of thing. So I knew us working side by side would be a challenge. And if I go into the eBay room and it's like disastrous, I'm like anxiety. Like, I can't take it. I got to go. I can't work. So it's just how we're made. And when we accepted our differences and I could embrace his difference and he embraced mine, it seemed to mesh better. And so like me helping him, he just says, if you can help me do this in your time, if I want to do a lot or a small amount, he's okay with that. Yeah. If he spends hours, he always tries to come in so we can watch a movie or spend time together. He is out there a lot of hours, but at the same time, we make sure that we have time for each other and it's not about eBay. And that's real important because it's easy just to talk about eBay and it gets old after a while, as couples, because you can just start. Social media is another thing. He's an open book. Social media, I've said it before, can really cause some damage with couples. If you've got to be an open book because you're on Instagram, you're on this, you may get messages, your phone's dinging. One night, this happened on Kat's video. I was told her, it was so funny. I went to bed early and I have the Instagram on my phone. And I didn't turn it off. So I hear ding, 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 ding. And it's her and Roy having this conversation. And it was so funny because I love Kat. And but you have to be, he knows everything that he does, he knows everything I do. And I think as couples, that's real important, you know, to have that trust when you're across the social media
Right.
platforms.
Right.
Anyway, but as far as eBay, that's how we kind of.
And I would going kind of like on that, what Kim was saying, as for a couple to just doing this, is you have to know your partner.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, do we argue?
Oh yeah. I had to apologize yesterday because I was being a snoot.
So
he gets long-winded and I'm like, hurry, I know what you said, let's get this done. I know you repeated it 3 times. And he was like, I had to go back and say, you know what, I'm so sorry, you're trying to teach me, and I was really being not very accommodating. And he said, thank you for saying that. And I said, you're welcome. And we went on our merry way.
Well, you know, for most, I was going to say, just based on my subscribers and video people doing videos and so, most people, even whether they're husband or wife, most people do it by themselves.
Mhm.
Generally, it's the wife doing it or the husband is doing it because the other one has to work or do something. Or if they do it together, it's not really so much they're doing it together. But there are those couples out there that want to do it together and be an equal partner and do it together. And I say the biggest thing is just all what pretty much Kim was talking about is you have to understand each other. You're both going to see things differently. You're both going to, you know, you all through life, everything we do, we learn off of each other. When you do that from the time you first get to know one another till you get married, to, you know, what you eat, how you sleep, and everything. But when it comes to doing it and buying and selling and doing eBay, it's the same thing. You have to have a balance. You have to know how much to go sourcing, how much time to spend listing, how much time to spend away from eBay, to spend time with each other.
And don't keep getting offended about everything. Our society, oh my gosh, is full of offense. Everybody's getting offended about everything. And everybody's independent thinkers. They should watch what they say, but I'm just saying sometimes things don't come out even with couples the way, you know, a man's not going to understand, or a woman, or by friends or whatever, what you're sharing. And you may have to explain it again, but you don't have to walk around with this offended helmet on and take it to extremes, you know, talk, you know.
So kind of right. And the other thing is, as a couple, you can support each other and grow off each other. Now it's fine if, say like I was doing eBay and Kim didn't want to, like, which had, when we first started, like I said, she was a nurse, she was working, and she retired. I had to do eBay to bring in extra money, and I was working at the time. So that was what we did. And I did eBay. I was by myself. But then she wanted to learn aspects of it, and I wanted her to learn aspects of it. So she did, and let's do a couple. So there's nothing wrong with a couple, just one person doing something, or one person doing more than the other. Because there are days where she has to do things and she takes care of her parents, takes them to the doctor's appointment, or she will clean laundry, whatever. If she's gonna do a meal, or I'm gonna, you know, I'll cook a meal too. So I don't want to say anything like, you know, that I will cook a meal. But she has her thing. Today may be her day where she says, I'm gonna clean the house, or I'm gonna work in the garden, or whatever the case may be. And then that's fine. Okay, so today I'll just make it my listing day. And then tomorrow we have free time, and okay, and it's Friday. Well, let's go, whatever, garage sale or thrift store. Let's go do that together. You know, it has to be a balance. And there's nothing wrong with either doing it together or doing it separate. Just know what the other person's doing. That's the strongest thing, is you have to support one another. There are going to be differences. Like I said, we do argue, but we're not horrible. Everybody has their own opinion, and you got to understand that. So we got to see what each side is. The other thing is, when it comes to, like, I do my videos, which I try to put out a little bit tip inside a video here and there, Some videos are more all tips, and some videos are just a little more entertainment, I guess you could say. But like I said, this whether you've been selling on eBay for longer than we have, over 10 years, or if you've been selling on eBay for 2 weeks, everybody has questions. And when it comes to items, if you've got a specific niche, if you sell shoes and belts and you're good at it, sell shoes and belts, but don't be afraid to learn something new. That's what I do. That's why I sell a little bit of everything. And mostly the reason I sell a little bit of everything, again, is I know I can make the money. That's not the problem. Like I told you, I will buy a 99-cent item and sell it for $1.99. I don't have a problem with that. To me, people say, how much is your time is worth? Well, how long did it take me to list it? If it took me 10 minutes, 5 minutes to list it, and I can do 5 or 10 an hour, and I'm selling them and making $30 off of whatever, 5, 10 of them, well, then I'm $30 an hour. But I want to say that it doesn't matter what you do, but if you learn and sell a little bit, find what sells good, find what doesn't sell so good for you. Some things sell better for other people than others just because of how they do their descriptions or stuff like that. I say have a wide variety, but like I said, for all those people that have a certain niche or a quantity, or maybe they used to have a store, but they're getting older, I like to try to lean towards more of an older group of people, because as we get older, and if we don't have the savings, or we don't realize we don't have insurance and things to cover everything as we get older, or retirement checks aren't going to be as good as they maybe used to be, or we don't have a retirement, then I want to tell people, hey, don't worry, you're going to be okay. Spend a little time, do a little eBay, put a little money aside, do what you need to do. Use your eBay money for your fund money, so use the rest of the money for what you need it for. So.
There's one thing I wanted to add about the couples. When I was relearning how to post, Roy had to show me the pictures to get the shadows out and stuff. And some of my pictures had shadows, and he'd say, and I had got them all uploaded, and he'd say, they kind of got too many shadows. Let me get you a light. I could feel inside, those were my pictures. I worked hard on those, I didn't want to redo them, but I did. And then one thing he's really good about, I had posted something that could have made more money. It sold right away. I messed up. I, pulled it up, which he says there is no mess up. It's just human, whatever. Yeah. He never made me feel like I had failed. He said, it's no big deal. It's just money. He said, it's so well, I was like, it was a sign, and it could have made
Yeah, it's just money.
He was telling me that whether he felt it is another story, but
that's true. Yeah. Well, what I said was it was a vintage license plate cover, a Ford thing. Well, she listed it. I paid $1.99 for it. Okay. She listed it for $14.99
plus shipping.
Plus shipping, and it was an item that could have sold for $49.99.
Yeah, and it sold.
It sold pretty quick.
He says you sold your sign. I was like, woohoo!
And it sold.
He's like, but
I said it sold for $14.99, and she was like, well, good. And I was like, that could have sold for more, and I don't want to be over her shoulder and looking at stuff. I trust what she does. And again, and we're going to make mistakes. But as for learning, I told her, I said, hey, that's $14.99. I paid $1.99 for it. After the fees, everything, we're still going to profit $10. You paid the shipping. The shipping was covered. We're going to make $10. Okay. I said, we made $10. I was happy.
Hello, Cheryl. Welcome. That's some great advice, because again, I enjoy watching y'all videos. And again, just recently, you actually started coming in more into the videos, right?
Me?
Kim? Yeah,
I feel like a deer caught in a headlight. I mean, I'm okay with talking to you live. I feel like but boy, when you get a video on me, I feel like my eyes are blinking. I'm nervous. I just
get the video camera.
Yeah, I'm like, it's so hard, even with our nomadic picker. I try to be natural, but inside I'm not natural. I'm just
Well,
like,
I remember when you first started coming in, you were actually going into the eBay room when he would do some videos,
Yeah.
especially when you do your giveaways. But you seemed like you were so natural at it. But again, you could tell you were nervous, and that's anytime you go in front of a camera. But I'm
yeah.
noticing that you're getting more comfortable with it, and I love that because we get to see you more in the videos. But I want to make sure that when I had you here today, that I would like to have both of you because it takes the amount of work y'all both put into this is what I enjoy when I watch your videos. And I'm glad we were able to share this with everybody because there's some people that did not even know you were there as far as they were part of the situation with the business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open the chat to all those who are in the chat that would like to come on. Also, don't forget the link is at the top, and then I'll post it again throughout the video. If you haven't subscribed to Roy and Kim, their link is at the top in the blue box. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the chat. But I'm going to go ahead and open the links. Here is the StreamYard link. You're more than welcome to come and join us on the screen. Now, I do know there are several people in the chat that I know of that are couples that do maybe separate channels, but also both resell. So that's another thing I'm noticing. Like Bama, him and his wife and his children do that on their videos, and they go sourcing together. So there's a lot of great couples in the chat to begin with. So let's see. I just subscribed to you. Looking forward to watching you. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get hooked. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I was so glad when Roy and I started talking about him coming on the morning show because I'm trying to get other channels on here. Granted, you may not see them all the time in the chats, but again, this gets you to know others that are in our community that are like kind of out there, but you don't know about them. So that's why I'm doing this, and I'm so glad y'all are both being able to be here this morning.
Well,
also, here's the link now for the StreamYard. There's the pin. I'm gonna replace it with their information, but I'll put it back in the chat again. So a couple of things I want to cover. First of all, here is Roy and Kim's link to their channel. I'll repost it in the chat in case if you missed it. It is also in the description bar below, by the way. And also I haven't seen Rampage Reseller in here yet. I did send him a link to it. He is the featured channel for the week. As y'all do know, every Friday morning on my community page, I do feature a new channel each week. And this is Rampage Reseller. His name is Gary. He's like at about 51 subs as of this morning. Also, we know how Jennifer's always in our links. Everybody's chat, dropping them links the minute we maybe talk about somebody's channel, whether it's a live or you name it. So there's Jennifer's Buy Me a Milkshake. Go ahead and show her some love and support as well. And that's just a little plug and play right now. Also, if you want to be part of the morning show, I do have some great guests signed up again for next week, but I do have some dates that are available starting, I think, one day next week and then the following week for the last week of the month. You can reach out to me on any of my social media links on their link tree. I do have all my social media and all the affiliate links in there. So you're more than welcome to reach out to me. The first come, first serve, so I can get those on the calendar for next week. Or the week after, I'm sorry, because I think I have one day left next week. So definitely check that out. And so my next question for you, as far as just kind of going through some things here and there, when you do your videos on the subjects, has there been anything that someone has made a comment in your videos where you thought was kind of odd or strange that you felt uncomfortable answering?
For the most part,
Pretty respectful.
Pretty respectful. Now I made a video a year ago called "Gold: What Pawn Shop and Jewelry Shops Don't Want You to Know." And again, that was just because of my gold background, and I just felt I needed to do a teaching video on that. So that was actually my most popular video. It's got almost 1 million views, and it's at over 800,000, 850,000, something like that now. And the biggest thing in there is it was a slap to. It was on my mind. I said I want to teach people how that they just went out and bought their wedding ring for their lovely new fiance that they just bought at a jewelry store for $8,000 that they're going to be in debt for the next 5-10 years on. And the gold value of that ring is only about $150, and the diamond that's in there is probably worth $50. So I wanted them to know that if they spend $8,000 for love, that is awesome. If they bought it because they wanted to have something to resell later on or pass on or know it's going to be worth value, I'm sorry, that's not the way it is.
Right.
So I made this video called that says gold, what pawn shops and jewelry shops don't want you to know. Well, my two biggest things is majority of the people loved it, but I would occasionally get someone that would say something really bad, and you could tell right away they were a jewelry store or a pawn shop owner. You could, and some of them would. I actually had one that came through and just flat out blatantly say, I'm a pawn shop person, and this, you're putting out false information. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I know I'm not, because I was raised in the gold and silver shop. I know. Right. So that was one of the main things. The second main thing is, like I said, I did this on a whim. I'm a thinker. This stuff was running through my head. I want to get this information out. I had all my eBay stuff behind me, and I don't want to show this whole mess behind me on this video. So I took a sheet and I hung it up and I hung it up behind me. Well, it was a sheet that I grabbed out of a closet that was probably on the bottom. It was a nice white sheet, but it had all the wrinkles and everything that could have in it. So I probably, out of 850,000 views, and I don't know how many, 100,000 comments, I probably got 5,000 comments. Iron your sheet.
What he's not telling you is, I walked in, I said, you're not going to do a video with that wrinkled sheet, are you? I'll iron it. I'll make it look nice. No, it's okay. It's going to be fine. I said, okay. Well, I can't get past your video because of that wrinkled sheet.
Yeah. Like I said, I probably got a good,
a lot of comments about that.
Probably about, like I said, about 8,000 comments out of those, probably 100,000 comments. And that was at least, enjoyed the content. Hey, iron your sheet. Did your wife have an iron? That kind of thing.
I said, that makes me look bad.
Somebody else would put in there, you're killing my OCD. I want to iron that sheet while you're talking.
And I'm laughing about it too, because I watched that video and that was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, Kim was going to kill him for doing it without a sheet.
I tried. I tried. That was the first thing I said.
That was the sad part. She wanted to do it, and I told her no, because I wanted, like I said, I had this whole show on my head. And I'm like, I don't want to forget none of this information. Right. I want this information.
No one's going to pay attention to that sheet.
Yeah. Bad choice. Let me say, I don't use a sheet for a backdrop.
And that's what brought that question up, because I remember that video, and Robert and I were watching it one day, and it was like, look at the comments in this video. It's amazing how many people are commenting about a sheet.
I almost pinned. I had another comment that was really, really good. So I pinned that on that video. Their comment was good. They had a lot of good information, things like that. So I pinned their comment. But I had one person put a really good comment, very respectful, but it was about that sheet. And I almost pinned that one at the top just so I could say, quit talking about my sheet.
You know what it has done, though, when he does his YouTube videos, and he'll put one of his little, what are they called?
Emojis?
What are the pictures to show your video when you're doing
the thumbnail.
The thumbnail. The thumbnail. Okay. He'll come and ask me, kind of like, I'm like, oh, that's
look?
He listens now to me.
That's awesome. All right, we do have Bimos coming in the show. And that's why I brought that question up, because I distinctly remember the comments in that particular video that really was the top. Let me get this out of your face over here. Let's move around. There you go. And so that's why I made that comment in that question, because that was like the top of the line of comments you had. But I didn't realize you had that many views already on that one particular comment, on that one video. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a good video.
Yeah. So hello, Laura. How are you doing? Good morning. Hello and welcome.
Hello. How are you guys?
I'm blessed.
Good. Good morning.
Hi, Laura.
Perfecting Pearls. Julia says, definitely listen to your wife.
Yes.
And that's one thing I have to say. If y'all haven't watched any of their videos yet, you will enjoy it, because I do see the ones that I do see with Kim in it. You can see the chemistry between both y'all in those videos. And it's like you fall in love with Kim immediately when you come on the video. So we did that from the beginning. So I always feel like you're a great friend. I've always had questions. I even made comments in your video when you first started, questions and answers and things like that. And that's one thing you can definitely know if you send him a question, he will answer it for you. Also, hello and welcome to Edwards. Hello, good morning and welcome, Bama. Happy wife, happy life. That's right.
That's absolutely true.
So what you got going on, Laura?
Auctions. That's what we do.
That's right. Tell everybody what you got going on, girl.
Okay. 1 p.m. Eastern, our book sale. Nolene and I will be doing a book sale. And then tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're back on Melanie's channel for our regular auction with Marion. Always a good time. Come for the laughs. Stay for the deals. Next week, we will be on my channel all week long. That means 4 nights we get to do and 2 days. 4 days, 6 shows. We're nuts. Monday is always with Ella, 7 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, we do a book sale at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then our regular show with Marion at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thursday, we do 7 p.m. Eastern, and we do take guests on Thursday. So if you're interested, email myself, Melanie, and we will get you scheduled. Then Friday shows 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's what we do.
And y'all rotate each week. What week is it on this week?
Right now, we are on Melanie's channel. Next week, we will be on my channel.
All right, there you go. Anything special going on that y'all adding to your list?
No. We're good.
Just making sure. Again, remember, if you would like to come on and promote your channel, you're more than welcome to. The link is at the top in the blue box. The StreamYard is now open to where you can come on. Again, I want to thank Kim and Roy for coming on this morning. I know y'all keep a busy life. Again, if you haven't checked out their channel, it is in the description bar below. Jennifer's been dropping in the link, and it is in the chat. So make sure you check them out. Show them some love and support as well. So is there any new thing coming out that y'all would like to talk about with your channel to let people know what to look forward to on your channel coming up?
Well, we're getting ready to hit to the winter fourth quarter. So while everybody else is going to be out talking about fourth quarter and why you should be out sourcing for this and that and doing things like that, which we will be talking about as well. But it's also a more slow down time for people with to go to garage sales. Unless, again, like you like us, and we live down the south where there's garage sales all year round. But so that's where we get more into the teaching aspect of things. I start thinking a little bit more when you start hitting them colder days, you're in the house more. So I will start thinking about those things for people that do need to expand their money. When Christmas is coming and different Thanksgiving, and they're thinking, I've got this going on, and birthdays and anniversaries and work and bills, and how can I make that extra, whether it's $50 or $100 or $500 or whatever, just a couple extra dollars. But like Kim said earlier, when we sell something, we'll say, well, that's our gallon of milk, whatever. That's the kind of thing I want to show, because the thing you can, no matter how many times people say they've had bad experiences, or if somebody's had a bad experience, or they don't like eBay is an awesome platform. It really is. And there is no other place where you're going to have 180 million views possible. You're not going to get them, but possible views of an item you're selling.
Right.
So if you list 1, 2, 3 items and you sell 1 or 2, 3 items, that's a little something extra. So if I can help somebody to be able to do that, to learn it, again, whether they've been doing eBay for a week or they've been doing it for 10 years, I hope I can teach them something they didn't know, or an easier way of doing something, or a simpler way of getting, or faster way of getting that item sold.
Yeah.
If I was perfect, then I would have every item that I listed sold every day. Well, that's not going to happen.
Right.
But I do know the little ins and outs, and we do make sales every day, and we do have items. Some days are slow days, some days are great days. but I know how to tickle that eBay algorithm to start to get those sales. Again, I've got, what we got now, 440 something items listed. Well, I'm not going to sell 440 items in a day.
Right.
But as long as we're steadily selling items every day and steadily listing items every day, whether it's 1 item or 2 items every day, and we sell 2, 3, 4, 10 items a day, whatever, we're still selling every day and we're still bringing income.
Right.
A lot of these big eBayers will talk about and say, you'll see them, they try to get a little bit more popular. They try to take those Instagram photos where they've got a whole room full of things that they sold for the day. And that's great. I'm proud for them. I'm glad for them. And I have seen those Instagram photos where somebody has posted only 4 items that they're shipping to the UPS or USPS that day. To me, those are the most important people. Those are the people that are struggling. Those people are working hard. Anybody can have 10,000 items listed and you're going to sell every day. But it's those people that are really struggling to get those 1 item sold, 2 items, 3 items, 4 items sold a day to bring in the money. So my videos, I try to say, if you can make $100 a day, wouldn't that be great? That's $3,000 a month. And even if you sell $100 a day, doesn't mean I like to profit $100 a day. That's my normal everyday goal. It doesn't matter if I was making $1 million. If I could make $100 profit a day, that's awesome.
Right. Bam has a quick question. Have you ever? He might have missed it because he did come in a little late. But where down south are y'all located? And I'm gonna bring in another guest from behind the screen in a few minutes.
We are located in a little tiny town called Mission, Texas, and
that's been on the news a lot.
It's been on the news a lot because of the border down here. Mission, McAllen, they're right next to each other.
Mission is a wonderful little town. We love the people. We love the area. They are the most family-oriented, wonderful people.
Yeah,
when we hear it on the news, we're like,
yeah, I always tell people, stop listening to the news.
Yeah, because I mean, we came down about 4 years ago. We're military minded. We've been around a lot of different people.
We're not retired military, but we were in the military.
Yeah,
right.
And it's a wonderful little town. And
actually, if you look up Mission in the crime sector of things in the United States, Mission, Texas, when you look at housing, jobs, crime, and different things, it's all going to be in the A-B category. It's all going to be in, I think McAllen Mission was actually like in a top 10 a couple of years running just recently.
You have a lot of border control. You have a lot of police president. That's probably why I say
stop listening to the news. You know, they got state police, border patrol, things like that.
We're protected.
They got enough of all that stuff down here. There's, it's by the border. Yes, there are things that go on, but Mission's a great place. So people want to know where we're at. Go down your map. Go all the way down to the very tip. You're going to see Brownsville at the very tip, and then come over about a fraction of a hair, and that's where we're at.
All right, I'm gonna move us around again because I did take the banner off, and I'm gonna bring it on our featured channel of the week, Mr. Gary Rampager, Reseller. Hello, good morning, and welcome, Gary.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
I'm going great, and you?
Pretty good. I got a little bit of a late start this morning. Our kids only go to school 4 days a week, so we stayed up and listed all night and slept in a little bit.
Yeah.
So what you got going on your channel? Promote your channel.
I've got a bunch of stuff that we've filmed that I got to get edited. We've just been trying to grind and get a bunch of stuff listed. A little bit of yard sale stuff here. A lot of like shipping. We're getting ready to build another office in the house for my wife, so we can both do this. Other than that, we did a video at a friend's video game store up in the valley. We're like in central Arizona, so we're 60 minutes from Phoenix and 60 minutes from Tucson, like dead in the center. So we drove up there this week, and I haven't seen him in probably about a year. We went ahead and did a video at his game store that I helped him put together a few years ago. I've got to get that edited and up. And other than that, we've just been grinding, trying to get as much stuff listed as we can for the upcoming season.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question because I have been watching your videos.
Yeah.
I know you're just starting out. Talk a little bit about this new thing you did in your garage with pallets.
All right. So me being the cheap guy that I am when it comes to building stuff, there's a lot of construction going on where we're at. We're in an unincorporated town. So like even shipping stuff out, we have to go to the next town over to get things sent out. But they're popping houses up all over the place. So I had the idea, and we needed the storage. Why don't we just use pallets to do the storage and cut them down? We can build a wall, like separate half the garage out for my truck or whatever I need to work on, and then the other half for actual shipping tubs, the shipping table, just everything that we need. And so the goal was, how cheap can we build a full shipping station that we can both work out of and use? And we built that thing for about $23. I mean, even the screws were on sale when we got them. We just happened to luck out and get them on sale. They're half price. But that was 2 days it took us to get that built, off and on through the 2 days, with trying to take care of everything else at the same time. And I'm a pretty big guy, but I climbed up to the top and was like, all right, let's see if it's going to hold some tubs. And it held this tub. So that's like 300 pounds. So we've done some of our storage in other spots. We've built the same way before that. So I figured it would probably work. We just added another section to the top. So we have 3 rows. It does hold 26 tubs.
Yeah, what's awesome about it, I was watching it, and his son was helping. And
Yeah.
it's amazing to see from start to finish on how you took all those pallets and made all these shelves and stations and all this stuff within that. It was amazing. I would have never thought of that, I guess. But yeah, you really showed, and I love it. So if you haven't checked out his videos, go back and check out his videos on how he did that from start to finish, from an empty garage to a full workable shelves and crates and shipping station, and you name it, he did it. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. Sweet, good. Nice to use the own body weight. Yes. I like the way you did that too, where you took the screw and the way you did your front lane pieces to make the crate still fit easier, and you did your little front pieces for instead of the legs. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought I had some more extra 2x4s behind the house, that full length, and I got back there. I was like, oh yeah, we used those already for different projects. So I was like, well, I'm going to use what we got, because that was the whole point, was how cheap can we use this with scrap wood.
Right. All right. So if you haven't checked out his channel, he is the featured channel for the week. I did post that this morning. And so if you haven't checked out his channel, he was at like 51, I think, this morning. So let's see if we can get him close to 100. I'll actually get him that milestone of 100. You've been putting out a lot of videos lately. So how's that going for you?
What's that?
How's it been going for you where you've been putting out a lot of videos lately?
I mean, we're completely new to it. So when I first started, the one that's on there of the 8-track was like a year and a half ago. I was trying to make a little video. Someone on eBay asked, can I get a video of this thing actually working? So I had figured out how to do that from my phone back then. And then we waited to move. I bought the camera, the whole works, the GoPro, everything. And we moved. And once we finally got good enough internet service here in town, we said, hey, let's do this. So we've been trying to we started real strong. I think we did 2 the first week and a half. And then the computer couldn't handle the longer videos, so we had to get a better computer. And then all the content that we had, the computer didn't update, and I lost everything. So we were starting from scratch. So that's why I've been trying to save up enough to make it a decent video before I put another one out. But today and tomorrow I've got to get one done, at least one, if not 2 out. But yeah, it's all new to us. It's kind of, for us, we were real nervous going to sales, walking around with the camera. People are giving you weird looks, and it's not as easy as some people make it look. I mean, you get used to it. I'm sure it gets easier, but starting out, like, what if they say you can't have? What are you videotaping? Why are you doing this? So it's just us getting used to going out and doing that. So
one of the things I have to say about that is I've had more why you got the camera once I tell them. And I'm honest with them. I do YouTube videos, and this is what I'm doing. Oh, really? What's your channel? I love watching YouTube. And next thing you know, if you've got a little card with you, with your information, hand it out. Yeah, look at Roy. He's got it ready too.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
Right there.
hold on. Let's see here. I got the case of them.
Yeah. And the minute you start handing them out, you'll start feeling more comfortable when they are acceptable for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that's what I do. That's what I do is if they ask, I pull out a card and explain what I'm doing. And I've never had anybody tell me to turn off the camera.
Yeah. Now there was one I did where there was a young boy. He had his own Funko Pop layout, like he was his own eBay store in the driveway. Now I did blur out his face because of his age.
Yeah.
Or like someone's, like if I'm in someone's area and I do blur out like their license plate or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you start doing it and they'll ask you, feel comfortable telling them what you do, because again, it may even help you, because I've seen some people that even have a card on the back that says if you have extras at the end and you want to get rid of it, I'll be glad to take it off your hands. So you just never know what connection you can make while you're out there in the world sourcing, to where somebody like, what I'm going to do with all this when I'm done, they're just going to donate it, or they're going to give it to charity somewhere. And this way here, you can come in and offer that you're going to come in and pick it up. That'll give you some more inventory right there. So yeah, I have no problem saying it.
No shortage on the inventory.
That's right. But I love what that one called, if it's free, it's for me. Somebody keeps saying that. I can't remember who said it in their video. But again, the free ones are the best one because you have no money involved in it. So yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. All right, so I do see my numbers going down, and this is my indication to go ahead and end the show. So before we do that, I want everybody to go around again and talk about your channel, anything you want to promote about your channel, and then we'll go ahead and end the show. Now, we'll leave the link at the top of the chat for if you want to come on the show after the show. That way we can have a little talking one-on-one with Kim and Roy after the show. You're more than welcome to do so. Thrifty Drinker said that. Yeah, that's her who said. You're right about that. It is Dina. I knew somebody says it. I couldn't remember who. It was like one of those squirrel moments. I have only one guy who requests the card. Yeah. And again, it's once you feel comfortable doing it, it'll come natural to you. So we'll start with you, Gary. Go ahead and tell everybody what you have going on your channel. Promote your channel. Again, he is the feature channel for the week, and we'll start with you because you came in last.
All right. We should be having a couple of videos out this week. We're going to try to get another one out. Hopefully we can get this office built this weekend, and then I'll have that out if we get to that project before Tuesday. Other than that, yeah, we're just going to keep grinding, get more video out. Once we hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to do a video of the office. I've got a lot of stuff in here, so I want to do like a walkthrough of our offices and how we have them set up. And then I'll be sending you a box for bingo nights of stuff to give out.
Awesome.
For people
Thank you.
To win.
That is awesome. Also want to say real quick before we go back around to Laura, don't forget to go ahead and drop your link in the chat, especially if you have a special event going on, or you have something going on this weekend, or just to put your channel link. I know Jennifer's dropping links, but go ahead and drop your links so others can check out your channel and any special events you have. If you already have the thumbnail set up, go ahead and drop those in the chat. Again, we're here to support each other. Okay. When you go to somebody's link, don't forget, if you go to somebody's link and right at the bottom, the word subscribe is in red, that means you're not subscribed. Change it to gray. Next to it, there's those notifications. Hit all notifications so you don't miss out on a video when they come out with a video. But most important, go to their video, and make comments to let them know you see it. I have a tendency where when I go to someone's channel, I'll say, I met you in this channel, or I met you here, or I saw you here. That way they know where they've seen you from, because, again, we have so many different people coming into the chats. That way you can definitely check it out for them. All right, Laura, go ahead. Laura?
Clock Eastern. Book day on Melanie. And tonight at 7 p.m. we do our regular.
You're breaking up really bad, Bemos.
I am.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me go out and come back in.
Okay, now it's clear.
Now I'm clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So then tonight at 7 we're on Melanie's channel. Next on my channel on Monday, we will keep your with our book sale.
Yeah, you're breaking up again. All right, I just put Rampage's Greg's Gary. I'll put his information he's putting in the chat, in the private chat instead of the chat. So I'm copying and pasting.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'll just copy and paste it and put it in the actual chat for you. That's okay. Go ahead, Roy and Kim. Go ahead and talk about your channel, what you have coming up, and promote your channel.
Well, all right. We got Arcade Treasure Center. Come check it out if you haven't watched any of our videos. And feel free to subscribe if you like. If you don't, we're just happy that if you leave a comment, that's great. Click that like button because we like to know that you enjoyed it or anything we got to work on. If you have, what I tell everybody in almost every one of my videos is to be kind to each other and take care of each other. That's important. But I also put out a lot of videos that if you have any questions or comments and you're a new or existing eBay seller, if there's anything you want to know, put in the comments. I answer 99.999% of the comments. And you can also go to my About Me page or look at the bottom in the description. And generally, I'll have my Gmail in there or Instagram account. So if you have a question, you can get a hold of us that way. And generally, we want to help the reselling community. We want to help people to be able to earn a little bit extra money, to be able to figure out how to buy that gallon of milk, how to pay that bill, how to make sure they got money in their retirement, things like that. Because today's society, you have to have 2 and 3 jobs to survive. And if you can make a couple of extra dollars by working an hour at home and you can make enough to pay the bills for the month or something, hey, that's what we're about. That's what mostly my videos, no matter what I sell, if it's a what sold video, some sort of informational video, that's what my heart is. I want to teach and show everybody. I think everybody in the world should be selling on eBay. But Kim's my backup, so she's here. She's just my backup to do that. But she's the reason why I do this and keep going every day.
All right, now I do have their link highlighted, and it is in the chat, but we're going to go back to Laura, but I'm going to come back to Kim and let her do our closeout message, okay?
Uh-oh.
All right, go ahead, Laura.
Hopefully better. I'll do it the day goes on. Thursday, Friday, book sale at 1.
All right, Laura, we're having issues with your mic.
Just breaking up.
Oh.
Yeah, you're breaking up really bad.
Okay.
Just make sure you definitely put your links in the chat for the shows you have tonight for sure and anything else you have going on for next week.
Yep.
All right. Kim, I would like you to close us out with your special thought or idea you want to give out for the day.
One day at a time. And don't take anything for granted. One little sale, one day at a time. Don't look too far ahead. We live in some really dark days right now. And people need hope. They feel like, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to buy milk for the baby? And I'm really serious. And they don't put that on the news. And there are people that feel like they have no hope. And I feel like you can look around your house and find one thing that might sell for, so you can buy your milk for your baby, or you can make that car payment or something, but don't look too far ahead. Pray hard and take one day at a time and be thankful for everything.
Amen. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank y'all so much for coming in and joining the show. And again, if you haven't checked out their channel, it is in the description bar below. I will put it in the chat again before we leave. That way you can definitely check to see if you're subscribed, because I guarantee you, you will fall in love with Kim and all the information that Roy puts out on his videos. Again, he does that in every video, so you just never know what he's going to offer in that particular video that he does. And like I say before I end each and every show, remember, if you want to come on after the show to talk with us behind the scenes, you're more than welcome to when the show ends. The link is at the top in the blue box. And like I say before I end every one of my shows, let me get to the thing where I need. Love always. Love is always free. Please be kind to one another until we meet into another chat. Have a blessed and fabulous day. Hope you have a great weekend. And until we meet again, later. Peace out.